Prince William, Duke of Cambridge.
Prince William, Duke of Cambridge KG KT ADC, is the elder son of Charles, Prince of Wales, and Diana, Princess of Wales. His paternal grandparents are Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. He is second in line to succeed his grandmother, after his father. Prince William was educated at 4 schools in the United Kingdom and obtained a degree from the University of St Andrews. He spent parts of a gap year in Chile, Belize, Tanzania, and Kenya, where he has lived and holidayed several times. Prince William has also taken Kiswahili studies at universities in Kenya and Tanzania. He also completed training as an officer, eventually being commissioned as a lieutenant in the Blues and Royals Regiment, and a pilot, earning his wings by completing pilot training at Royal Air Force College Cranwell, in the British military. He then underwent helicopter flying training in order to become a full-time pilot with the Search and Rescue Force. Prince William married Catherine Middleton, on April 29, 2011 at Westminster Abbey. Hours prior to the event, Buckingham Palace announced that he would be created Duke of Cambridge, Earl of Strathearn, and Baron Carrickfergus. Their first child, Prince George of Cambridge, was born on July 22, 2013. Following the end of his more than 7.5 years of full-time service with the British Armed Forces, in early 2014, from early January to late March, Prince William will attend a series of seminars, lectures, and meetings in agricultural management at the University of Cambridge.
Early life.
Prince William, the first child of the Prince and Princess of Wales, was born at St Mary's Hospital, London, on June 21, 1982. A week later on June 28 his name was announced by Buckingham Palace, William Arthur Philip Louis. He was baptised in the music room of Buckingham Palace on August 4, 1982, the 82nd birthday of his paternal great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother, by the Archbishop of Canterbury, Robert Runcie. William had 6 godparents. Former King Constantine II of Greece, his paternal cousin. Princess Alexandra, the Honourable Lady Ogilvy, his paternal cousin. The Duchess of Westminster. Lady Susan Hussey. Lord Romsey, his paternal cousin. And Sir Lawrence van der Post. He was the first child born to a Prince and Princess of Wales since Prince John in 1905. The prince was affectionately called Wombat by his parents or Wills, the latter a name coined by the press. At age 7, William reportedly told his mother that he desired to be a police officer when he was older so that he might be able to protect her. A statement to which his brother responded, "Oh, no you can't. You've got to be king." William's first public appearance was on March 1, 1991, St David's Day, during an official visit of his parents to Cardiff, Wales. After arriving by aeroplane, William was taken to Llandaff Cathedral where he signed the visitor's book, thereby demonstrating that he was left-handed. On June 3, 1991, William was admitted to Royal Berkshire Hospital after being accidentally hit on the side of the forehead by a fellow student wielding a golf club. He did not lose consciousness, but suffered a depressed fracture of the skull and was operated on at the Great Ormond Street Hospital, resulting in a permanent scar. In a 2009 interview, he dubbed this scar a Harry Potter scar. He was reported to have said, "I call it, the scar, that because it glows sometimes and some people notice it, other times they don't notice it at all." His mother wanted him and his younger brother Harry to have wider experiences than are usual for royal children. She took them to Walt Disney World and McDonald's as well as AIDS clinics and shelters for the homeless. She bought them typical teenage items, such as video games. Diana, who was by then divorced from the Prince of Wales, died in a car accident in 1997. William, along with his brother and father, was staying at Balmoral Castle at the time. The Prince of Wales waited until early the following morning to tell his sons about their mother's death. At his mother's funeral, William accompanied his father, brother, paternal grandfather and maternal uncle in walking behind the funeral cortege from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Abbey.
Education.
William was educated at independent schools, starting at Jane Mina's nursery school and the pre-preparatory Wetherby School, both in London. Following this, he attended Ludgrove School near Wokingham, Berkshire, and was privately tutored during summers by Rory Stewart. At Ludgrove he also participated in football, along with swimming, basketball, clay pigeon shooting, and cross-country running. William sat for the entrance exam to Eton College and was admitted. There, he studied geography, biology and history of art at A-level, obtaining an A in geography, a C in biology and a B in history of art. At Eton, he continued to play football, captaining his house team, and took up water polo. The decision to place William in Eton went against the family tradition of sending royal children to Gordon Town. William's grandfather, father, 2 uncles, and 2 cousins all attended. However, both Diana's father and brother had attended Eton. The royal family and the tabloid press agreed that William would be allowed to study free of paparazzi intrusion in exchange for regular updates of the prince's life. The chairman of the Press Complaints Commission, John Waukeam, said of the arrangement, "Prince William is not an institution, nor a soap star, nor a football hero. He is a boy. In the next few years, perhaps the most important and sometimes painful part of his life, he will grow up and become a man." After completing his studies at Eton, the prince took a gap year, during which he took part in British Army training exercises in Belize, worked in English dairy farms, visited Africa, and for 10 weeks taught children in southern Chile. As part of the Raleigh International program in the town of Tortal, the prince lived with other young teachers, sharing in the common household chores, including cleaning the toilet, and also volunteered as the guest radio jockey for the local radio station. By 2001, William was back in the United Kingdom and had enrolled, under the name William Wales, at the University of St Andrews. News of this caused a temporary increase in the number of applications to St Andrews, mostly from young women who wanted an opportunity to meet him. The extra attention did not deter him, though, and he embarked on a degree course in art history, later changing his main subject to geography, and going on to earn a Scottish Master of Arts degree with upper second-class honours. While at university, he represented the Scottish National University's water polo team at the Celtic Nations tournament in 2004. He was known as Steve by other students to avoid any journalists overhearing and realising his identity. The prince returned to St Andrews in February 2011 as patron of the university's 600th anniversary appeal.
Royal duties and career.
William began to accompany his parents on official visits at an early age. His first overseas royal tour was with his parents to Australia and New Zealand in 1983, a decision made by the Princess of Wales that was considered to be unconventional. Not only was William so young, but both the first and second in line for the throne would be travelling together. However, he accompanied either both parents or his father on subsequent tours, and, upon graduation from university, began to undertake duties of his own, as well as obtaining experience in the private workforce when he worked with land management at Chatsworth House and interned at HSBC.
Military career. Military training and secondments.
Having decided to follow a military career, in October 2005 William attended the 4-day Regular Commissions Board at Westbury in Wiltshire where he underwent selection to judge his suitability to become an army officer. Having passed selection, William went up to the Royal Military Academy Saunchurst in January 2006. Successfully completing the course, William graduated from Saunchurst on December 15, 2006, the graduation parade being attended by the Queen and the Prince of Wales, along with other members of the royal family. William officially received his commission as a lieutenant at midnight. With his rank obtained, as Lieutenant Wales, a name based on his father's title, Prince of Wales, he followed his younger brother into the Blues and Royals as a troop commander in an armoured reconnaissance unit, after which he spent 4 months in training for the post at Bovington Camp, Dorset. Once officially enrolled and commissioned in the armed forces, William wanted active service. In this there were recent precedents, His great-great-uncle Edward VIII, when Prince of Wales, served in France during the First World War. His great-grandfather King George Virgin Islands US served during World War I with the Navy at the Battle of Jutland and in France with the Air Force. And his paternal grandfather Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, served with distinction during World War II. More recently, his uncle Prince Andrew, Duke of York, served in the Falklands War. Though Major General Sir Sebastian Roberts, General Officer commanding the Household Division, had said William's deployment was possible, the prince's position as second in line to the throne, and the convention of ministers advising against the person in that position being put into dangerous situations, cast doubts on William's ability to see combat. These doubts increased after Prince Harry's deployment was cancelled in 2007, due to specific threats. William, instead, went on to training in the Royal Navy and Royal Air Force, obtaining his commission as a sub-lieutenant in the former and flying officer in the latter, both broadly equivalent to the rank of lieutenant in the Army. With this complete, William undertook an attachment with the Royal Air Force, undergoing an intensive 4-month training course at RAF Cranwell. Upon completing the course on April 11, 2008, he was presented with his RAF wings by his father, who had himself received his wings after training at the same college. During this secondment Prince William flew to Afghanistan in a C-17 Globemaster, which repatriated the body of Trooper Robert Pearson, in what Max Clifford described as a PR exercise. William had been affectionately known by his fellow airmen as Billy the Fish, a pun on the name William Wales. William was then seconded to train with the Navy for 2 months, from June to August 2008, during which time he spent 3 weeks at the Britannia Royal Naval College, training on units of the Surface Fleet and submarines, as well as with the Fleet Air Arm and Royal Marines. He spent a day on submarine HMS Talent. During a 5-week deployment on HMS Iron Duke in the Caribbean, he took part in a joint operation with the U.S. Coast Guard that identified and captured a speedboat carrying 900 kilograms of cocaine worth approximately $40 million. The ship also took part in other raids. Owing to William's future role, a long-term career in the military was considered out of the question. Due to his position, his desire to see active service was always unlikely to be granted. William originally joined the military on a short service commission lasting 3 years. However, it was announced in September 2008 that he would be extending his time in the forces, first by taking on another secondment in 2008, including working at the MOD and non-operational flying with the Army Air Corps. Then it was announced that he would transfer from the Army to the RAF in order to train as a full-time search and rescue helicopter pilot, a role that enables him to take an active role in the armed forces without being deployed on combat operations.
Royal Air Force Service.
In January 2009, William transferred his commission to the RAF and was promoted to flight lieutenant. He trained to become a helicopter pilot with the RAF's Search and Rescue Force. In January 2010, he graduated from the Defense Helicopter Flying School at RAF Shawbury, where he had been under the instruction of Squadron Leader Craig Finch. On January 26, 2010, he transferred to the Search and Rescue Training Unit at RAF Valley on Anglesey to receive training on the Sea King Search and Rescue Helicopter and graduated from this course on September 17, 2010. This made him the first member of the British royal family since Henry VII to live in Wales. It was announced on April 15, 2010 that William will remain at RAF Valley for his operational tour, being assigned to Sea Flight No. 22 Squadron and initially performing co-pilot duties. His operational tour was expected to last 30 to 36 months. His first rescue mission, as co-pilot of an RAF Sea King helicopter, was a response to an emergency call from the Liverpool Coast Guard on October 2, 2010. The Prince, who was excited to finally take part in an active mission, and the other 3 members of the crew, flew from their base at RAF Valley to an offshore gas rig in Morecambe Bay, northwest England. A man who had suffered an apparent heart attack on the rig was airlifted to a local hospital. In November 2011, he participated in a search and rescue mission involving a sinking cargo ship in the Irish Sea. As co-pilot, he helped rescue 2 sailors, who were then transported to a hospital in Bangor. William deployed to the Falkland Islands for a 6-week tour with No. 1564 flight, beginning in February and ending in March 2012. The deployment of the Duke to the Falklands close to the 30th anniversary of the beginning of the conflict, April 2, 1982, was condemned by Argentina as a provocative act. In June 2012, Prince William gained a qualification to be captain or pilot in charge of a Sea King rather than a co-pilot. His active service as an RAF search and rescue pilot ended in September 2013.
Royal duties.
At the age of 21, Prince William was appointed as a Councillor of State, and began his royal duties by first serving in that capacity when the Queen was in Nigeria to attend the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting 2003. For his 21st birthday, William accompanied his father on a royal tour of Wales, visiting the Anglesey Food Fair and opening a centre for the homeless in Newport. By July 2005, he was on his first solo overseas tour, travelling to New Zealand, to participate in World War II commemorations on behalf of his grandmother in her role as Queen of New Zealand. For the 30th anniversary of his father's charity, the Prince's Trust, William and his brother were interviewed together for the first time by Ant and Dec. In July 2007, Prince William accompanied his grandmother's cousin the Duke of Kent, who is president of the UK Scout Association, in opening the 21st World Scout Jamboree, celebrating the centennial of the founding of the Scout movement. Tina Brown said in her 2007 biography of Diana, Princess of Wales, that Prince William had, like his father, expressed a desire to become Governor-General of Australia, though the idea was considered doubtful by Prime Minister of Australia John Howard, who said, "We have for a long time embraced the idea that the person who occupies that post should be in every way an Australian citizen." In 2009, a private office was set up for William by his grandmother, with Sir David Manning as his advisor. Manning personally accompanied him in January 2010 as he toured Auckland and Wellington on behalf of the Queen. William opened the new building of the Supreme Court of New Zealand and was welcomed by a Maori chief. William succeeded Lord Attenborough in 2010 as the 5th President of the British Academy of Film and Television Arts. In March 2011, William visited Christchurch, New Zealand, after the recent earthquake, and addressed the memorial service at Hagley Park. On behalf of his grandmother upon leaving New Zealand, William travelled to Australia, to visit areas badly affected by flooding in the states of Queensland and Victoria. After twice accompanying his parents to Canada, the Prince, with his wife, toured the country and visited the United States in June and July 2011, attending Canada Day celebrations on Parliament Hill. On November 2, the Duke and Duchess visited the UNICEF Supply Division Centre for supplying food to malnourished African children in Copenhagen, Denmark. In September 2012, they toured Singapore, Malaysia, Tuvalu and the Solomon Islands as part of the Queen's Jubilee celebrations.
Personal interests.
Following his parents' examples, William took interest in various causes from a relatively early age. The late Princess of Wales' work with HIV/AIDS aid and prevention, and the Prince of Wales' work with the natural environment and the inner-city disadvantaged, directed William into those areas. He also showed a desire to focus on the needy in Africa, sometimes working with his brother's charity, St. Bill.
Humanitarian and environmental causes.
William became aware of HIV/AIDS in the mid-1990s, when his mother began to take her 2 sons to visit shelters and clinics for those suffering from the disease. In January 2005, William and his brother volunteered at a British Red Cross aid distribution centre to pack emergency supplies for countries that were affected by the 2004 Boxing Day tsunami. Later, in September, William granted his patronage to Centrepoint, a charity that assists the homeless. During the period when his mother had been patron of Centrepoint, he had accompanied her on visits to its headquarters and projects. William also worked in the children's unit at the Royal Marsden Hospital for 2 days of work experience in 2005, as well as helping out in the medical research, catering, and fundraising departments. The same year, he spent 2 weeks in North Wales with a mountain rescue team. In May 2007, William became patron of both organisations. His mother had also previously been patron of the Royal Marsden Hospital, and he became attracted to Mountain Rescue England and Wales in order to, in his words, highlight and celebrate the vital, selfless and courageous work of our mountain rescue organisations. The Prince also became a patron of the Task Trust in December 2005, a charity that works towards conserving wildlife and initiating community development, including providing education, across Africa. He became associated with the organisation after he witnessed its work firsthand in Africa. Saying rural African initiatives that foster education, responsibility and participation in the local community light the way to conservation, he carried out his first official duty with the Trust in launching a 5,000-mile, 8,000 kilometers, bike ride across the African continent in 2007. In 2010, he became a patron of 100 Women in Hedge Funds philanthropic initiatives. In March 2011, the Duke and Duchess set up a gift fund held by the Foundation of Prince William and Prince Harry to allow well-wishers who wanted to give them a wedding gift to donate money to charities instead. The gift fund supported 26 charities of the couple's choice, incorporating the armed forces, children, the elderly, art, sport and conservation. These causes are close to their hearts and reflect the experiences, passions and values of their lives so far.
Sports.
William plays polo for charitable causes. He is a fan of football and supports Aston Villa. He became President of England's Football Association in May 2006 and Viceroyal Patron of the Welsh Rugby Union, WRU, in February 2007, supporting the Queen as patron of the WRU. The same year, the WRU's decision to name a new cup for Test matches between Wales and South Africa, the Prince William Cup, caused controversy, with some believing it would have been more fitting to name the trophy after Ray Graville. In 2006, the Prince, along with other Songehurst officers, took part in running 1 mile to support the charity Sport Relief, as he had done in 2004 with a team from Clarence House. In May 2007, William became patron of the English Schools Swimming Association. The Prince and his brother are both enthusiastic motorcyclists, with the Prince owning a Ducati 1198S course.
Courtship and marriage. Bachelorhood.
During Prince William's years at university, he participated in university life and said, "I'm not a party animal, despite what some people might think." As with his father before him, William's private life became the subject of tabloid speculation, especially around his relationship with Catherine Middleton, who had been one of William's university flatmates and whom William began dating in 2003. Middleton attended William's passing out parade at Songehurst, which was the first high-profile event that she attended as his guest. The relationship between them was followed so closely that bookmakers took bets on the possibility of a royal wedding, and the retail chain Woolworths produced memorabilia bearing the likenesses of the couple. Media attention became so intense that William asked paparazzi to keep their distance from Middleton. It was reported in April 2007 that the couple had split, though Middleton, in June, attended a party at Lulworth Army Barracks as the guest of Prince William, and in July the concert for Diana, which had been organised by Princes William and Harry. In subsequent months, she accompanied William on holiday and joined the royal family on private outings and at public events.
Engagement and wedding.
On November 16, 2010, Clarence House announced that William and Catherine were to marry. The couple became engaged in Kenya in October. The engagement ring given by William to Catherine was that which had belonged to his mother. The wedding took place on April 29, 2011 in Westminster Abbey, London. Catherine and William chose to break with royal protocol and, like Diana, Princess of Wales, omit any vow by Catherine that she obey her husband. A few hours prior to the ceremony, William's new titles of Duke of Cambridge, Earl of Strathearn, and Baron Carrickfergus were announced, as is customary for princes on the occasion of their weddings. The titles became official on May 26, 2011, when letters patent to that effect were signed and recorded on the roll of the peerage.
Fatherhood.
The Duchess of Cambridge's first pregnancy was announced on December 3, 2012. She was admitted on July 22, 2013 to the Lindo Wing, St Mary's Hospital, London, where Prince William himself had been delivered. Later that day, she gave birth to a baby boy, Prince George of Cambridge, with Prince William present.
Godchildren.
William is godfather to Prince Constantine Alexios of Greece and Denmark, grandson of William's godfather, the former King Constantine II of Greece, Tom Pettifer, son of William's former nanny, Tiggy Pettifer, and Grace Van Cutsum, daughter of William's friend since childhood, Hugh Van Cutsum.
Titles, styles, honors and arms. Titles and styles.
June 21, 1982–April 29, 2011, His Royal Highness Prince William of Wales. April 29, 2011, present, His Royal Highness the Duke of Cambridge. In Scotland, April 29, 2011, present, His Royal Highness the Earl of Strathian. In Scotland, April 29, 2011, present, His Royal Highness the Earl of Strathian. The Duke's style and title in full is His Royal Highness Prince William Arthur Philip Louis, Duke of Cambridge, Earl of Strathian, Baron Carrickfigures, Royal Knight Companion of the Most Noble Order of the Garter, Knight of the Most Ancient and Most Noble Order of the Thistle, personal aide-de-camp to Her Majesty the Queen. As a British prince, William does not use a surname for everyday purposes. For formal and ceremonial purposes, the children of the Prince of Wales use the title of Prince, or Princess before their Christian name and their father's territorial designation after it. Thus, Prince William was styled as Prince William of Wales. Such area-based surnames are discarded by women when they marry and by men if they are given a peerage of their own, such as when Prince William was given his dukedom. For the male line grandchildren of Elizabeth II, however, there is currently some uncertainty over the correct form of family surname to use, or whether there even is a surname. The Queen has stipulated all her male line descendants who do not bear the titular dignity of prince shall use Mountbatten Windsor as their family surname, although letters patent exist stipulating the name Windsor, but with the same caveat. According to their flight suits as seen in television interviews, Princes William and Harry both used Wales as their surname for military purposes. This continues to be the case for William since his creation as Duke of Cambridge. On the morning of his wedding, it was announced the Queen would confer the titles Duke of Cambridge, Earl of Strathian and Baron Carrickfigures upon William. The letters patent received the Great Seal on May 26, 2011.
Military ranks.
January 2006–December 16, 2006, Officer Cadet. December 16, 2006–December 16, 2006, Cornet, 2nd Lieutenant, the Blues and Royals, Short Service Commission, December 16, 2006–January 1, 2009, Lieutenant, the Blues and Royals, January 1, 2008–January 1, 2009, Flying Officer, Royal Air Force, January 1, 2008–January 1, 2009, Sub-Lieutenant, Royal Navy, since January 1, 2009, Lieutenant, Royal Navy, since January 1, 2009, Captain, the Blues and Royals, and transferred to a full regular commission, since January 1, 2009, Flight Lieutenant, Royal Air Force.
Honors.
See also List of honours of the British royal family by country. Since April 23, 2008, Royal Knight Companion of the Most Noble Order of the Garter, KG. Since May 25, 2012, Extra Knight of the Most Ancient and Most Noble Order of the Thistle, KT. Prince William is the 1000th member of the Register of the Order of the Garter, and was officially invested by the Queen on June 16, 2008 at a service at St George's Chapel, Windsor Castle. The last time a monarch appointed a grandchild into the Order of the Garter was in 1894, when Queen Victoria invested Prince Alfred, hereditary Prince of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha. February 6, 2002, Queen Elizabeth II Golden Jubilee Medal, February 6, 2012, Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal.
Appointments.
March 17, 2013 Personal aide-de-camp to Her Majesty the Queen, ADC, P. Since July 6, 2009, Bencher of the Honourable Society of the Middle Temple. Since June 23, 2010, Royal Fellow of the Royal Society, FRS.
Honorary military appointments.
November 10, 2009, Canadian Ranger. Since August 8, 2006, Commodore-in-Chief of HMNB Clyde. Since August 8, 2006, Commodore-in-Chief of the Royal Navy Submarine Service. Since August 8, 2006, Commodore-in-Chief of Scotland. Since October 3, 2008, Honorary Air Commandant of RAF Coningsby. Since February 10, 2011, Colonel of the Irish Guards.
Honorific eponyms.
Ontario, Their Royal Highnesses the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge Award, University of Waterloo, Waterloo, Ontario, Duke of Cambridge Public School, Beaumontville.
Arms.
In September 2013, the Queen granted a conjugal coat of arms to the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, consisting of their individual arms displayed side by side, beneath the helm and coronet denoting the Duke's status as grandson of the sovereign.
Personal standard for Canada.
The Duke of Cambridge also holds a personal royal standard for Canada, consisting of the shield of the Canadian Royal Arms defaced with both a blue roundel surrounded by a wreath of gold maple leaves and shells, within which is a depiction William's cipher, a W surmounted by a coronet, and a white label of 3 points, charged with a red shell.
Ancestry.
Prince William is a descendant by alternating male and female lines of William the Conqueror, first King of Norman England. He is therefore also a descendant of Charlemagne. By direct paternal ancestry, via his grandfather the Duke of Edinburgh, he is a descendant of Elimar I, Count of Oldenburg, and as such a member of the House of Oldenburg, one of Europe's oldest royal houses, and more specifically the cadet branch known as the House of Glucksburg, founded by William's paternal ancestor Friedrich Wilhelm, Duke of Schleswig-Holstein-Sonderburg-Glucksburg. William's ancestors on the male line include 5 kings, Christian I of Denmark, Frederick I of Denmark, Christian III of Denmark, Christian IX of Denmark and George I of Greece, and also 11 counts of Oldenburg, 2 dukes of Schleswig-Holstein-Sonderburg, 5 dukes of Schleswig-Holstein-Sonderburg-Beck, and 1 duke of Schleswig-Holstein-Sonderburg-Glucksburg. Via his mother, William descends from the Spencer family, the Earl Spencer, and the Baron Fermor family, and more anciently from Henry Fitzroy, 1st Duke of Grafton, and Charles Lennox, 1st Duke of Richmond, 2 of the illegitimate sons of King Charles II. As king, William would be the first monarch since Anne to descend from Charles I, and the first to descend from Charles II. William descends matrilineally from Eliza Quick, a housekeeper for his great-great-great-great-great-grandfather Theodore Forbes, a Scottish merchant who worked for the East India Company in Surat. She is variously described in contemporary documents as a dark-skinned native woman, an Armenian woman from Bombay, and Mrs. Forbesian. Genealogist William Adams Reitzner assumed she was Armenian. In June 2013, Britain's DNA announced that genealogical DNA tests on 2 of William's distant matrilineal cousins confirm that Eliza Quick was matrilineally of Indian descent.